If you found yourself in a survival situation, would you be able to cope? The wilderness is an unforgiving place. There are so many different ways to die out there. But how amazing would it be if you have someone to warn and prepare you so that you aren't scared of it anymore? What's happening there, viewers, and welcome back to another video. Today, we'll share with you 10 life-changing wilderness survival tips in 10 minutes. So stay tuned till the end to find out, and let's get into it right now. Number 1. Have a plan. Carefully choosing each piece of gear, picking your travel route for an outing, and marking the date on your calendar are all necessary tasks to ensure your safety in the backcountry. Planning is an activity that rarely gets the credit it is due. Maybe you've heard about the 6 Ps. Proper planning prevents piss-poor performance. It's a memorable credo and very true. If you're the type of person who just dumps a bunch of supplies in a bag and races out the door, eventually, you'll find yourself in a situation where you need a specific piece of gear but don't have it because you didn't take the time to plan out your adventure. Adventure entails risk, and when it comes to survival, these 6 things are an absolute must to have in your travel kit. Number 1. Source of fire. A matchbox, lighter, magnifying glass, which can be used to burn dry leaves or papers under the bright sun, flintstone, few extra strips of matchbox, strike edge, etc., and few small pieces of dry wood. Almost anything can be used for burning, but starting a fire is the most important step. Number 2. Source of light. A headlamp with at least one spare bulb and fuse, and several sets of spare batteries in a watertight pack. During normal operation, the headlamp for optimal battery usage. A smaller backup headlamp is advisable. Number 3. Multi-purpose knife. A standard 16-function Victorinox Swiss knife will get you through nearly all possible emergencies. Among other things, it has a tiny screwdriver, tweezers, scissors, bottle opener, pen, and a pin. Number 4. Rope. A real lifeline when you need one. Always carry a 5-meter long regular 6 to 8 millimeter rope that can be used for webbings or as runners. A rope has so many applications that your own mind and imagination is the limit. Number 5. Source of food. This is only for survival situations and not for regular consumption during the trip. Include food items with a high mass to calorie ratio, which are easy to carry, need no preparation, and are enough to sustain you for the first 48 hours. We prefer chewy bars with nuts and raisins, glucose cubes, dehydrated fruit bars, and more. Number 6. Medical or first aid kit. Basic stuff like medicated tape, water purifying tablets, pills for common ailments like stomach infections, fever, headache, and body ache, clean cotton balls, small plaster roll, pain relief spray, etc. This is over and above the medical items that you'll carry as a part of normal group gear. Hold on now, before we go any further, if you're enjoying this video, then do be sure to show your love and support by giving it a big thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date of our future uploads. Now let's get back to what we were talking about. Number 2. Pick a safe campsite. We've probably all done it. You get out into the backcountry and plop down your tent on the first patch of dirt that doesn't have a bear standing on it. Good enough, right? Well, not really. You'll want to look up to scan for hazards that might fall on you, like loose rock and dead tree branches. You'll also want to look for water drainage issues that could flood your camp. Choosing the high ground is always ideal. Finally, check the ground for pests, poison ivy, and other dangers. The time you spend choosing a practical campsite is time well spent. Just don't spend forever making your decision. You won't find a perfect campsite every day, so pick one that works well enough before you lose daylight. Number 3. Locate a water source. When there's no running water on demand, there are still plenty of ways to locate water. Some of these ways are obvious, and others not so much. Heading downhill is a smart tactic for finding water, though sometimes these waterways dry up as they snake through arid terrain. You can also look for green vegetation. They need water to survive, so it's likely there's water at the surface or just below the dirt. Listen for the calls of aquatic animals, frogs for example, as a guide in the right direction. Number 4. Sharpening a knife. Knife sharpening is a little bit like cooking. Not everyone wants to do it, and some folks aren't good at it. Well, that's probably because they haven't spent much time working on that skill. Since your knife is one of the premier tools in the wilderness, it makes sense to keep it in top condition. That means keeping it stowed away safely when it's not in use and sharpening it after any use that will dull the edge. We really enjoyed learning how to work with round river cobbles as improvised sharpening surfaces. After all, the first sharpening stones were actual stones, and you'll just need to find the right grit for the sharpening task. Everyone has a little different style when it comes to moving the blade against a stone, but we're firm believers in making little circles in equal numbers on each side of the blade. Number 5. Handling your knife safely. Every time you use your trusted EDC blade or belt knife, you should be handling it safely. Whether you're packing a pocket knife or a survival blade that would make Rambo himself blush, this part of your kit can perform many remarkable tasks as long as you use it properly. It can also cut you to the bone if you're not careful. Trust us, you'll have enough problems in a survival situation, and you don't need to add a knife wound to the list. You can minimize this risk by understanding knife safety. Always cut away from yourself and away from your neighbors in camp. Number 6. Navigating without GPS. The number one reason for search and rescue callouts is that someone is lost. A GPS can prevent this common misfortune, so you should use one. That being said, it's also smart to cultivate a backup plan for navigation. Take the time to learn map and compass navigation and supplement those skills with celestial navigation knowledge. Number 7. Forage for food. Foraging is important, but so few people take the time to learn how to do it properly. It's not just berry picking during the summer. Foraging can be done in any season and in some of the bleakest environments if you take the time to learn about more than blueberries. Many roots, shoots, and greens make excellent vegetables. Edible tree nuts can provide enough calories to sustain us even in cold weather with a heavy workload. Number 8. Signaling for help. This skill set won't hurt your ego. After all, you're asking for help and admitting that you can't do it alone. It is, however, the skill set most likely to get you rescued. Modern technology can do a lot for us when we carry and use locator beacons and even our mobile phone. There are just other signaling tools that aren't so push-button in their operation and require practice. Just one example is the use of a signal mirror. But these skills require practice, and that's best done before you run into trouble, not while you're in trouble. Number 9. Learn first aid. First aid is an essential skill to master before hitting a field or just attending to cuts and scrapes at home. You need to know how to patch yourself up and help a friend in need when an injury occurs. First aid skills are the most likely survival skills that anyone will ever need. Acquire the skills and the gear before your next trip into the wild. Number 10. Stay calm. Panic is one of the biggest dangers of all when you're out in the wilderness. If you get nervous or scared, the body naturally goes into fight or flight mode. Being able to control that is crucial. According to Josh James, an expert in bushcraft, when the stuff hits the fan, slow down, think clearly, and choose wisely. STOP, stop, think, observe, and plan. 9 out of 10 times a situation will arise due to a crisis, bad decisions, being ill-prepared, an accident, or natural disaster. Keep calm and tap into the vagus nerve. Make sure to keep these life-changing survival tips in mind when planning for your next trip to wilderness.